All right. Happy Friday afternoon, Samantha Fish. Playing live today. All right. That was pretty good, Samantha. What's that song called?
That one's called Highways Hold Me Now.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm actually going to keep this one.
Who's in the band?
All right. Starting over here on the keys from New Orleans, that's Phil Breen. On the bass guitar from Austin, Texas, Chris Alexander. Back there on the drums, Mr. Scott Graves from New Orleans, Louisiana. From Mobile on the flute and saxophone, that's Chris Spees. And then Alex Massa on the trumpet, percussion, acoustic guitar from New Orleans. And Rebecca Crenshaw on the fiddle from New Orleans.
Yeah. So this is definitely a Southern band, but kind of New Orleans-based band these days.
Yeah. I think that's where the vehicle departs from most of the time. So.
Right. What's that been like, living down there, as far as just soaking up things in your music?
It's been great. I love it. I've been wanting to go to New Orleans for a long, long time. And when the band started being based out of there, and most of my work was just jumping off wise, it made sense. And it's beautiful. And there's a lot of art and creativity. And it's nice to come home and really be inspired, you know.
I saw you were at Jazz and Heritage Festival recently. So.
That did happen.
Yeah.
That was fun.
I bet. Everywhere, whenever I read about you, I keep encountering the story about a few years ago when Buddy Guy, when you got to go up on stage and play with Buddy Guy. What was that like?
That's people's favorite story.
It's a cool story.
I was out of my mind when that happened. Like we had like a show in Davenport and then a show in Thunder Bay, Ontario, and then Buddy's son Greg called and he was like, "If you want to play with my dad, you better get back to Kansas City." So we drove like twice through the night. I got back to Kansas City and was just crazy tired, and I didn't think it was gonna happen, and then it just happened.
And Buddy didn't know you at that point.
No.
He just
we'd done a couple of his residency shows up in Chicago.
Right.
So but I don't know. I mean, he's met so many people, so many young players, especially. He's like really good with young players and encouraging them. And I didn't think it was going to happen, but then Jonny Lang made a speech that night about how much Buddy like really encourages young folks to play guitar, and I think that like hit him. And so he said, "All right, bring her up."
But then he really liked it.
Yeah, I think he did. I don't know. I haven't seen that video.
The articles I've read say he really liked it.
Well, good.
So.
Good.
Were you nervous?
Totally, yeah.
You've played with a lot of pretty big names.
Yeah, no, that was scary because he's legendary, you know.
Yeah.
And I've been listening to his records since I started playing blues, so it was a big deal for me.
Who are the other heroes? Some other heroes for you?
That's hard.
It's a long list, I'm sure.
It's a long list. I have different heroes in different genres. I mean, I picked up rock and roll when I was a kid because that's what really drew me into music in the first place. My parents were all, you know, rockers and stuff. So, I mean, I liked the Stones and Tom Petty, and that's really what I started on. And when I started getting into blues, I think what bridged the gap for me between like punk rock was North Mississippi. So like Junior Kimbrough and R.L. Burnside really like the whole Fat Possum roster really kind of struck a chord with me. And
there's a punkish feel in what they do. Isn't there?
Totally, yeah. Well, it's so raw, you know.
Yeah.
It's completely raw. And I was huge into country music too. You know, just writing. You know, like I'm a big Townes Van Zandt fan, and soul singers were, you know, probably the most influential to my voice. So like Ray Charles, my heroes.
It's funny because like that genre, everyone called the blues, and you're called a blues artist, but there's like one thread where it gets more and more constricted, you know, and then or you can explode and just keep bringing more and more sounds into it.
I think the genre has evolved so much, and you know, it's the foundation of everything I do, but I branch out so much too. I'm never gonna be a better traditional blues artist than the ones that came before me. Right. So I got to find a sound that works for me.
Do you take flack for that at all in the?
You catch flack, but you also get praise. So I mean, it's 50-50.
I wonder, like, for so long the blues has been like a man's kind of a thing, you know. I mean, do you think about that? You can, you know, as a woman.
Everything's a man's thing. What are you talking about? Honestly, if we're being real. I mean, any industry, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. You know, you're a girl. You have a guitar. It's a hindrance in some ways. Like people don't take you. Earlier people didn't take me quite as serious, or they bring you up because it's kind of like a novelty, and that's sort of unfair too. So I mean, I just focused really hard on what I wanted. You know, getting really good. That's all I wanted to do, and I'm still working on that. I mean, I can't really help all that other stuff. It doesn't really, you know, have anything to do with me. I just got to keep doing what I'm doing.
Yeah. When you first started, I thought of your first couple of records as like a kind of a guitar, you know, flamethrower on the guitar.
Yeah, well, I started as a trio. You know, I had no money, so I had no band.
So you had to fill up a lot of
yeah,
space.
So I had to play a lot, and so every record kind of reflected what I wanted to do live. And that was play a lot of guitar, and I still do that, even with the big band. You ask them.
Songwriting, singing first or guitar first when you were getting going?
They both happened simultaneously. I started on drums first, and then I picked up a guitar, and thank God for that, because I had like a little bit of rhythm, and that helped me learn to sing and play at the same time. Like I used one to check the other, so nothing's really above the one or the other.
Awesome. So we're talking with Samantha Fish again. These two records that we enjoyed so much this past year: Chills and Fever and Belle of the West, and the show tonight at Leaf, and then Charleston Poorhouse tomorrow. Are you coming back in the area again anytime soon? Or
Chris, are we?
In the next week, we'll be up and down the coast.
We'll be back up next week. Look at our website. We have all of our wonderful tour dates on there.
SamanthaFish.com.
Yes.
Cool. Another song?
Yeah. Okay. So this one's off of the new. We're gonna play two more off of the newest record, Belle of the West. This one we made a music video to. It's called Blood in the Water.